Hey guys, Michael here with Daryl French and Landing Max. Today we're going to be talking about three big things. Number one is the renewals that are coming out. They're saying about 60% in the next year, which might not be as accurate. We'll get into that. Number two is the default rates that are kind of combined with that with those renewals. And number three is the inventory that we're seeing is increasing. So let's start with the renewals.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of renewals. So they're right in that there's a lot of renewals. Saying that 60%, I think a lot of people who had variable rate mortgages or had fixed rate mortgages coming up were worried about the renewals and have moved ahead of the schedule. And so we're seeing a lot of people doing early renewals. So I don't think that 60% number is going to be kind of what plays out. We're seeing a lot of renewals being done early. And we're also not seeing problems with the renewals. So excuse me, most people that are renewing right now aren't having a problem because you have to remember when they took these mortgages out back in 2000, the stress test rate that they had to qualify for was about 5.25%. Well, mortgage rates today are in the low to mid 4% range. So they're actually lower than what they qualified for 5 years ago. So in theory, they shouldn't have a problem renewing unless they've gone out and got a big truck loan or something like that that's
Right.
put their numbers out of whack. So we're not seeing a big surge of problems with those renewals.
Right. So which leads us to the second point, which are the default rate.
Yeah.
We've been hearing some headlines and that things are
Headlines are great.
headlines are
So,
great.
but we have to remember, we have to look at long-term averages. So long-term averages, so 90 days or longer default on your mortgage. The long-term average is about a third of mortgages, so 0.3 of 1% of mortgages are in default. So that's 0.3 of 1%. You got to remember, we peaked out back in 2008, 9, 10 when the world went crazy and we had the big slowdown. We peaked out at 0.78 of 1%. Okay. Today we're hovering around that 0.22, 0.24 of 1%. Okay. We did get down to as low as 0.14, which is an all-time low. We'll probably not see that again in the short term here for sure. So defaults are up, but they're up from an all-time low and they're still way below long-term averages. So yes, there are defaults out there, but I don't think it's a huge problem.
Okay. And moving into the last point that we're trying to get across is the inventory. So we're definitely seeing an increased inventory in most areas of Canada. For the Okanagan, though, we're seeing that condos are sort of flat. We're probably going to see more inventory because we don't have the numbers for some of the new construction in our numbers. But for townhouses and single detached homes, we've actually seen a decrease last 3 months that overall inventory. So there is, we don't see any issues, I guess, in those two categories. So apartments definitely kind of questionable as of right now. So we'll see, how that extra inventory, if it's going to get absorbed or if it's going to be more coming up for sale. Obviously, that could affect the prices further down the road.
And again, I think an important part with that is a lot of people are sitting back waiting, say we want to wait for house prices to go down. When, excuse me, single family homes went from 9.5 months to 9 months to now 7 months worth of inventory. Usually when inventory is coming down, house prices don't come down. They go the opposite direction. And on the other side of it, mortgage rates, we're seeing mortgage rates very flat. So if you're looking at fixed rates, those follow the 5-year Government of Canada bond yields. And again, those have been bouncing around. We've been in about a 0.5% band since the start of the year. So it's moved, but the rates have held pretty steady. So I don't think mortgage rates are moving much, and house prices, I don't see them going down a lot either. I can see them flat or coming up a little bit based on the supply.
So just to wrap it up, if you're thinking of making a decision, obviously it's going to be lots of aspects to it, which category you're in, also what kind of term you're thinking of. Like we don't really, I wouldn't say it's a great time to buy something and flip it because there's a lot of uncertainty out there. But if you're making a long-term decision, I think that the numbers still make sense. And if you want to discuss that further, Gerald, what is the best way to reach you?
Give me a call, 250-470-8843.